Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. Anjuly Rudolph, the transformation catalyst, an expert in yoga, Ayurveda, and energy healing. And we'll learn from her practical tips on balancing body, mind, and spirit. We'll learn powerful rituals to overcome burnout, manifest abundance, and create lasting inner peace. Welcome to the show, Anjuli.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here, Ajaji.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to India in this online form, Anjuli. I know your background connection with India, but we'll hear from you. And as I said earlier on, we'll talk about yoga, energy healing, and Ayurveda. We'll learn all this in this backdrop. But before that, let's understand a bit about your journey, your background, so that people know about who they are listening to.
Yeah, sure. So I come from a family of yoga teachers. My mother is a well-known yoga teacher in India. I have three siblings and almost five cousins who are all doing yoga teacher, working as yoga teachers. And so it just so happened that I grew up in a family with a lot of yogic knowledge around me. But for almost 40 years of my life, I was describing myself as the black sheep of the family. So I was always saying that yoga is not my thing and I would not be doing yoga. Nonetheless, I used to be very active in terms of fitness and sports. So I was playing tennis, I was running, I was doing all kinds of sports activities. And then just life took a turn and it came to a place where yoga was the only solution for me. So to just put it together, summarize it a little, I was married to a German man and I had four kids, and we were very happy as a family. And my husband used to work in diplomatic services, so we were traveling from one country to another every 2 to 3 years. We would move countries. So we had just recently arrived in a small country in east of Africa, which was really full of violence. I don't remember a single night in this country where I did not hear cross firing at night. There was one day I actually saw people shooting at each other with Kalashnikovs from my kitchen window. So while living in this place, one day I get a phone call from my husband while he was traveling and saying that, yeah, our marriage is over. He met someone else and now he would like to continue his life with this lady. And at that point, I realized that all my sports activities, all my positive attitude towards life, and everything that I knew was not helping me. I was not able to breathe. I was extremely in bitterness, a lot of self doubt, and all kinds of things. And that's when I realized that the only thing that really helps me is when I sit and concentrate on my breathing, when I take a moment to go inwards. And that was the beginning of a new me. So it was a blessing in disguise, now I can say that. And that's how I started looking more towards yoga and the our spiritual knowledge coming from India. And and there was no looking back.
Absolutely. So, Anjali, I want to understand you use these things that you knew about early on, but started practicing it much more deeper. But what led you to now get into much more deeper, now helping others, telling them about all these things, teaching them about all these things? I want to understand that part of your transformation as a transformation catalyst.
Yeah, so while I was still in the same household with my ex husband for 8 months, while I was trying to move my children and myself from Africa to Germany and starting a new life from the scratch, I did not have a job. I had four kids. I was moving to still a foreign land for me. and there was no money in the pocket. So everything seemed like life is against me. But the only thing that I had within me was from my upbringing, or an attitude of never say die, or never giving up. So once I went into the faith, once I started focusing on that side, I realized that the more I helped others to heal their problems, the better my healing was taking place. So I realized that we are all connected. So when I water a plant, there is a seed in me that also gets watered. So every time I looked outwards to help someone else, every time I was connecting with other people, part of me was getting healed. And I just came to the understanding that everything in my life is just reflecting what is within me. And the moment I smile at the mirror smiles back in me at me. And every time I make a funny face in front of the mirror gives me that back. So once I had that understanding, I realized that all paths to happiness go through spreading that happiness. And that's how it all started.
Absolutely, absolutely, Anjali. So to understand, you see, nowadays, a lot of things keep on changing. Anything can change at any moment, and we need to have that, stability, that sort of a balance in our life, that nothing should shake it up. It does, and so that is where the whole part of bringing balance to life, creating balance in life comes in. How should we understand about this? You talk about it a lot, and I want to understand, how should we look at this whole thing called creating balance in life, bringing balance in life. People talk about balance, work life balance, so many balances. I want to get your perspective about this thing called balance in life.
So, first of all, it's important that we understand that change is the basic law of the universe. Change is nothing bad, because nobody can sleep more than 10, 12 hours. There comes a point where you need to wake up and see the sunshine, and there comes a time at the evening where you're so tired that you want to go back to bed. So the cycle of life is taking place between a day and a night. You cannot let go of the night or of the day. So you need both of them equally. And change also shows us that it is an opportunity. It is understanding that neither the good nor the bad is going to stay forever. So change also gives us a lot of hope. Yeah. And the moment we connect with hope, we are already vibrating at a higher frequency than when we are connected with fear or worry or bitterness or any kind of resentment. So, hope is, anyways, a higher energy, and time gives us hope. So, understanding this, we would realize that. The day and night is not just outside, the day and night is also within our breath. So we have two nostrils. According to yoga, your right nostril is connected to the solar energy. You can also say it is more of a masculine energy, more of power and strength and craft. But at the same time, your left nostril is the lunar energy. It's the feminine energy. It's more the wisdom, the experience, the subtleness, So once we understand these two sides, we find that we can adapt to change very easily when we simply take a moment to take a deep inhale, hold that breath for a moment, and then release whatever is not serving us anymore. So, the moment you understand how your body works, the moment you understand how your breath works, and the moment you find the connection between your physical body, your breath, and your mind, there is no change in the world that can pull you down. So, the balance automatically occurs.
Absolutely. Okay. So is our balance dependent on the way you we breathe, or is it beyond that? Or is breathing the easiest way to attain balance in life, take care of stress and overwhelm?
Yeah, breath is the easiest way to create that balance. Now, imagine the moment you're born, what is the first thing you do? You inhale, right? And the moment somebody dies, what's the last thing you do? That's an exhale. So basically, if you look at it that way, then your life is taking place between one inhale and one exhale. Once you understand, you realize that while you're inhaling, you cannot die. While you're holding your breath, you cannot die. So your chances of dying become 3 to 1. But if you enhance that a little more, then you understand that you inhale, you cannot die. You hold your breath, you cannot die. You exhale, that's the only place where the death can happen. And then when you hold the breath again, you cannot die. So your chances are 1 to 4, right? So understanding that, and when I'm talking here about death, I'm not just talking about the physical death. I'm talking about the death of a hope, the death of a plan, the death of an idea. So anything that finishes off its journey on this planet can only happen while you're exhaling. Yeah. So knowing that, we can use our exhalation to let go of those things which have lived their life. So any bad idea, any negative energy, anything that holds you in fear, anything that holds you in resentment, anything that is making you bitter in any way, and exhalation is a good time to let go of that. So once we have become aware of that, we realize that we have so much more time to be in gratitude, to be in better balance. And that's the easiest tool. You don't have to look into your bag to find your breath. You don't have to search in a drawer to find your breath. It's always available at any given moment, at any given time. It's so handy. And the good thing is the
Absolutely,
batteries don't die
absolutely,
off.
Anjali. Absolutely, absolutely, Anjali. So to understand this better, you help your clients to tap into their highest potential in all phases of life with yoga, hypnosis, energy healing, and coaching. So how does one do that? You can guide them, but individually it is very difficult to know which path to take. How does one get started to find their full potential, achieve their highest potential in all phases of life? How should one get started?
Okay, so the easiest way is to become aware what is that one thought that is present in my head right now. Because your thought is the simplest and the smallest form of energy. So if you realize that right now I am in gratitude, you are in a very good place, then there is no need for change. But if you realize that you are stuck in the past, you're grumbling over something somebody did to you 20 years ago, or you're getting angry on something that has happened around you just a few moments ago, that's when you realize that I can move out of this thought, I can move out of this sentiment the moment I become aware of it. So the first and easiest thing is become aware of what's going on in your head right now, recognize where you are. Yeah. So if you want to travel from India to Germany or to England or whatever place, the first thing is, before you look at any of your tickets or anything, you would start from where I am flying from and where do I want to be. So start from that very basic. So my thought process right now is this, acknowledge that, and then find some baby steps, some easy steps to move away from this thought. So, for example, if you're feeling completely helpless right now, what would be the opposite for you personally of helplessness? Tell me, what would be the opposite of helplessness for you?
helplessness means you take action, you take the first
You take
action,
action. So
and that will
taking
be, you
action.
will not be helpless anymore.
Exactly. So taking action is the destination where you want to go. So a simple action could just be that you take a deep inhale, hold it for a moment. That's already an action. Yeah. So you have done your first step. The next thing would be to just get up and walk out of the room where you are. So you're already changing an energy the moment you move out from a threshold. So a simple process I do is, for example, if I had a argument with someone here in this room right now, so the moment I move out of this room, the moment I open the door and I step over the threshold, I remind myself that I'm not taking this mental argument with me to the next room. So that's the easiest and the simplest action, right? Simply becoming aware of where I am and what baggage am I taking with me when I'm moving out of this sentiment, out of this room, out of this place. So if we become aware of our day to day thoughts, our day to day challenges, and then start treating them like this, one step at a time, one breath at a time, we already changed the movement of energy in our body. The next thing is
Right.
realizing that there are some very simple and easy methods to change the energy that is present in me. One thing is you can change the energy the moment you change your breath. The second thing is you change your energy the moment you change your position. So if I'm facing this way, the moment I face this way, I have already changed that energy. Yeah. And the third thing is the moment I come into movement, my body starts walking from this place to that place, I change the energy. And the next thing is the moment I change the temperature of my body, I already changed that energy. So I can simply put on something warm and the energy has changed. Or I can take off something and start giving myself some air and I can change the energy. So if we just simply become aware of these four, or so I gave you four things now. The fifth one, remember, this is like your fingers. So changing your position, changing your movement, changing your breath, changing your temperature. These are the five things. And changing your five elements. That's when you are in the sun, go in the shade, or if you're in the shade, go in the sun, or if you're in the air, go on the floor. So connect with any of the five elements and your energy would change. So this is in your hand. And the next thing is, in yoga, we know that all these five elements are in my hand. This is your fire, this is your air, this is your akasha, your ether, this is your prithvi, the earth, and this is your water. So you don't even have to move. You simply have to become aware that the moment I move my hands, I'm moving all the five elements that are present in my body and in the universe. Isn't that so amazing?
Absolutely. Very amazing indeed. And the very amazing way you have explained this, Anjuli. Now, to understand this better, if we move from one position to another, in terms of, solving problems in life, we just cannot, there will be acrimony, there will be situations when the other side is not thinking the way you are, and that energy becomes very negative. Now, every time you cannot walk out from a room, that will make give a defeatist sort of a stance, that will not solve the problem, that will go against me. How do I make sure that I am staying within that energy and still able to maintain my calm, maintain my composure, keep, so that I can solve that issue, whatever way the opponent is behaving?
So the simple way is, with your opponent, you use exactly these five rules that I just showed you. So, for example, I am sitting on this side of the table, the opponent is sitting on the other side of the table. So, I simply leave my place and go next to the opponent. The moment I have moved myself, the opponent automatically gets a different perspective of me than he is getting right now. So, the energy has shifted. Or the other thing is I just go to the opponent and simply tap him friendly on the shoulder and say, okay, let's talk about it. Yeah. So again, with that movement and the touch, I have changed the energy. The third thing is then you say, okay, why don't we have a glass of water? Because then we have invited the water element into it. Take a deep inhale and look at the entire scenario once again. So basically, you're already using these five elements that I already described, and you have changed the energy. The first thing that you do, nonetheless, is when you are in that situation of an argument, when you are in that heated discussion, that you simply take a deep breath, first find your center. Then the moment you do that, you would be able to shed off your ego, you will be able to shed off anything that's holding you back from approaching that other person, and also stop looking at the person as somebody who is going to hurt you or somebody who is going to misuse your trust, and simply look at this person as someone who is actually pushing you into the direction of your growth. So, coming back to my life story, I had a good reason to be angry on my ex husband and to be mad at him and spend the rest of my life in resentment against him. Does it really bother him? He doesn't even care what I'm doing or what I'm not doing. But by simply reminding myself that, okay, this person did hurt me, but at the end of the day, it helped me to find my inner strength, my inner power, and I am so much more successful now. And all that I have built now is because of that strength. So actually, I should be thankful to him that he showed me the path to my inner strength, right? So the moment I understand that every person who is pushing me towards an adversity is actually helping me to propel in my life. Every adversity is propelling me towards growth. And the moment I understand I can't be bitter at anyone, and every time I'm bitter at someone, I'm also losing my valuable energy that I need for myself. So it's literally like realizing that how much money do I want to spend out of my account? Your bitterness, your anger, your resentment is all that cash that is flowing out of your account towards someone else. You need it for your health, you need it for your family, you need it for your business. So the moment you realize that this cash is hard cash and I want to keep it with me, you would not spend it on bitterness, anger, or resentment.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's so much to learn about all these things from you, Anjali, and I'm sure a lot of people would want to understand and learn all this from you, not only in Germany, not only in India, but a lot of people across the world. So, what is the best way for them to connect with you?
Well, I have a website. People can use my name, Yoganjuli, and Google it. They will be able to find it. I also have a YouTube channel. I must admit that I'm not very regular on YouTube channel, but there are a lot of videos already on there, and a lot of free meditations available completely free for at least 21 days. There are several such meditations which give you a lot of valuable information. People can connect with me through Instagram or Facebook, WhatsApp. So it's very easy nowadays. We live in a world, and again, coming back to this, thanks to Corona. So people think that Corona was a bad thing, but Corona made a lot of online things possible, which were never possible before. So all you need to do is, register for one of my yoga classes and find me on yoga sessions online.
Absolutely. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining
Thank
us.
you, Ajaji. I'm so glad to have been here. And I really, really want to admire the way you interact with your guests and help them bring out such valuable treasures for your people who are hearing you. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a nice day.